Is it a superpower or curse? I think it is up to how a woman sees herself. There would be times where you see that as a curse. There would be times where you feel that like it is a superpower. I think it's just like ups and downs. You tend to get this feeling of being a Superman. I mean, sorry, Superwoman, and also, oh shit, I'm a woman, kind of a thing. So I think it depends on whatever situation you are, or probably it's a timing lead thing. For me, it is definitely a superpower, and but there are times I have thought it's a curse as well. So I have definitely overcome that more from out from that curse thought, because I think that happened a lot before I self healed myself a bit. So as I am in the journey of self healing, I only see that as a superpower and never as a curse now. So again, it's a transformation that every woman would want to take, but then it definitely takes a time, and you'll need to have an experience which will help you make that switch. It's definitely a superpower according to me, but if you feel that it is a curse, then you need more healing, and lots of vibes to you for that.
Is being a woman a superpower or a curse? Definitely superpower.
If there is one thing that every woman entrepreneur should know is before starting a business, is that I would say from my personal experience, never expect a profit immediately. That is one thing, and never ever underestimate your power to do whatever that you're doing, be it a product or be it any service that you're providing. You are into this business because you had the confidence that you know something and you are better than someone else. So I think that is very important. You should build that quality and skill of having a confidence on yourself initially. So that, I think, many of us lack that. If someone says that, hey, you're not good, then we just curl ourselves, and then we think that, oh, shit, I'm not good, right? So I think we should avoid that and do not allow anyone else negative thoughts influence yours. So keep upgrading yourself in terms of any kind of new things that come in your field. That's very important. So, and at the same time, never ever lose the confidence on you, because that definitely gives you like multiple times of confidence in by itself, and you can achieve more and more and more and more on what you are actually doing.
One thing women trying to start a business should definitely know. Comparing men, women will have a lot of hurdles. So அதெல்லாம் தாண்டி தான் we'll have to survive. இது தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டாலே we'll be able to balance the rest of our work life நான் நம்புறேன்.
Okay, one way to grow out of Instagram is basically word of mouth. And I actually grew my business only through word of mouth, even before Instagram. So I wasn't very active in the initial stages in social media, but then I used social media very less. I think it was only through word of mouth I was able to spread my business throughout my state. And that word of mouth is basically more powerful than any other modes of marketing as well. So it gives you a confidence, plus it also gives a confidence to the client is going to get from you. And I think that's the most powerful and the best thing that ever can happen in a marketing world.
How do you grow a business beyond Instagram? Your work has to speak. If you do your work perfectly and அதை வந்து ரொம்ப நல்லா கவனமாக சின்சியராக செய்கிறப்போ you'll definitely get that reach. So அதுக்குன்னு you'll not have to work a lot. ப்ரொமோட் பண்ணி செல்ஃப் ப்ரொமோஷன் அதெல்லாம் வந்து தேவைப்படாது. when people look at your work, they'll definitely reach out to you. So beyond Instagramன்னு பார்க்குறப்போ your work has to speak, and if you do your best, God will do the rest.
I think the toughest aspect of my mode of business was commuting. So I started my journey as a home baker, and I initially wanted to do a lot of home deliveries, but then I didn't have the proper setup for that, and I couldn't do that. And also the lack of confidence in myself, just thinking that will this work, and am I really into this, because I'm not a professional baker or so, will I be able to survive in this and everything. And it is also a thought that the environment that you are also sets in. So, for example, my father never had a confidence in me that I'm a baker, I'm a home baker, and cake decorator, because I did my aerospace engineering, and he expected me to do something in that. But then I wanted to become a baker after completing my studies. So he was a bit hesitant, but then with time and experiences, I gained that confidence. But it did take a couple of years for my father to gain that confidence in me. But once he did, he never stepped back. So he was very proud about all the achievements and everything. And he was very supportive in taking me to lots of events and everything. So I think that initial stage of the lack of confidence was something that I missed out.
What aspect of your business was tough? How did you overcome it? Definitely balancing family and work. At times kids வச்சுட்டு ஒர்க் பார்க்குறது வந்து it was difficult, and also sustain ஆகிறது கஷ்டமாக இருந்துச்சு, because day by day you have to face a lot of hurdles என்று வரப்போ, when you compare women and men, women have more hurdles, like you cannot list them அந்த அளவுக்கு. each woman has her own battles to fight. ஸோ ஒரு பிஸ்னஸை வந்து இத்தனை வருஷம் சஸ்டெயின் பண்ணி கொண்டு வரது வந்து it was quite difficult, பட் எவ்ரிடே ஹர்டில்ஸ் வந்து ஓவர் கம் பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும். ஸோ ஐ எம் ஓவர்கமிங் ஆல் ஆஃப் them.
One question that women are being asked that is not asked in men. So, of course, it's about pregnancy. So, what are your plans for pregnancy? Are you even pregnant yet? What are you planning to do to get pregnant? All these kinds of nonsenses happen especially only to women. Again, like I said, women degrade women, right? So they have a lot of judgment based on all these things. So I think pregnancy is a couple's journey. So it's not a single woman's journey. It's a journey that is taken as a couple. So whatever questions that you're posing, just make sure that you ask it to a couple rather than just the women. I know you may not be comfortable in asking men about, hey, how are things going on? Are you planning a pregnancy or anything? The reason is because we've made it so hush-hush, thinking that, hey, you're not supposed to talk about this to men. But it's a two-people act, basically. So I think they should be more open in asking all about fertility questions. And even men, in cases of any kind of infertile issues in men, it should be outspoken so that people can know about it and they can educate themselves a little bit better than that. So now we have all kinds of informations on women's fertility, but then there are still very less amount spoken on men's fertility. So I think it's a 50-50 thing when it comes to infertility. So I think they should start speaking a lot on the fertility aspects.
So what is one question people ask you that they don't ask men? Obviously they ask, why do you want to earn? ஏன் சம்பாதிக்கணும், எதுக்கு பிஸ்னஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும்? இட்ஸ் லைக் மென் ஹாவ் டு டூ திஸ், இது வந்து உமன் பண்ணக்கூடாது அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து பேசிக் தாட் ஃபார் மெனி. ஸோ நிறைய பேர் கேட்பாங்க, எதுக்கு போட்டு இப்படி கஷ்டப்படணும், எதுக்கு இப்படி ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும், எதுக்கு ஏர்ன் பண்ணணும்? ஸோ தீஸ் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் தே ஆப்வியஸ்லி ஆஸ்க் விமென் அலோன். மென் தே டோன்ட் ஆஸ்க் திஸ் கொஸ்டின். டெஃபினெட்லி நோ ஒன் யாருமே ஃபேஸ் பண்ணியிருக்க மாட்டாங்க. Women do face this question. Many entrepreneurs, எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு, many do face this.
If there was one advice I would have given to my 18-year self, is that engineering was never for you. So stop having this herd mentality. So I would have definitely I told myself that and do something in designing, and or probably it was an experience that I had to go through to understand better about myself. So I'm grateful for that, but still, if at all there was a chance, I could have saved those 4 years to learn something else. And the next thing I would say is that never ever compare yourself and degrade yourself by comparing to others. I did that mistake a lot in the initial stages, and I'm better off from that thought now. So if I had to give one advice to my 18-year-old self, I would say, stop comparing yourself to others. You're not them. You are Civi because you are Civi.
One piece of advice you would give your 18-year-old self? Nothing. I'll ask her to trust less and be more ambitious, maybe.
I have a lot on my bucket list, but for now, I would say it's about creating a space just for women with all kinds of alternative practices like massages, acupressure, meditation, and everything, where women can come and they can feel safe in that space to communicate any kind of issue or anything, where they can help themselves understand a lot better about themselves in terms of physical and mental health. So a space with all kinds of alternative practices, counseling, and everything, especially dedicated to women, a women health center probably. So of course, with as everything that I'm doing now in terms of health and body work and everything, a space just for women. Um, yeah, a health center just for women. So that's my dream now, and I think I'll definitely get to that point someday or the other.
Tell us one thing on your bucket list. I have many. இப்போ சொல்லணும்னா ஒரு நல்ல டால் வெட்டிங் கேக் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ஆசை. I've done many wedding cakes, but நல்ல ஒரு டால் கேக்காக பண்ணணுங்கிற ஒரு ஆசை இருக்கு.
My favorite women entrepreneur, there are so many. I think I love the work of Swati Jagdish, who's a sex educator, but then she also does wonderfully in social media. The levels of boundaries that she has set is amazing. Even though being an educator, she speaks a lot about that. And from the other side, I really like her marketing skills and the way she projects herself very confidently. I just love that. So I think that's one person I look after, and there is another person called Supriya and Anita who are the faces behind Studio Nadia. I really love them as and they all these three people, they're more like sisters to me, and I think that's a special kind of bond that I have with them. At the same time, I do admire their skills. So just for now, I can just remember only these two people, but there are definitely so many back in list. Probably someday I'll just post them about it.
I have a lot of favorites. இவங்க இவங்கன்னா சொல்ல மாட்டேன். So usually like people who strive, I like each and every one of them.
Tricky question. So when it comes to equality, I would say that we are being treated equally a bit now, at least as far as I've seen. It's far better when compared to our older generations. But one aspect that I would see is that it's not about gender equality mostly now. It's about even women respecting each other's thought process and everything. I see a lot of degradation happening not from men. It's more from women. Women pull down another woman. So or probably that is something that I see the most common nowadays, rather than men pulling down women. It's more of like women pulling down women. So that's what I'm seeing, and I think that should stop. We've fought so much. There are people who have fought so much for us to bring in this equality between men and women now. But I think women, we ourselves in our community, we tend to pull down each another, and I think it would be better if that changes.
Equality பொறுத்தளவுக்கு I'll say probably around 3 or 4, because still there are many places where women do not have access to proper education, and அவங்களோட பர்சனல் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்டையோ பேஷனையோ வந்து இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பெட்டர்மெண்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கான ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் அவங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கிறது இல்லை, அண்ட் மெனி விமன் ஆர் நாட் ஏபிள் டு வாய்ஸ் அவுட் ஆல்சோ. ஸோ இட்ஸ் ஸ்டில் மென் டாமினன்ட் சொசைட்டி ஐ ஃபீல் பர்சனலி. ஸோ ப்ராபப்ளி அரௌண்ட் 3 or 4.
So a space where there are no rules and nothing, I think there should also be a space without judgment. And if such a space happens, of course, it's going to be the most happiest place ever a woman can be to do whatever that their heart desires. I would say help people to, or at least for myself, try to connect more with nature. Some stays under the sky in night times and all these things, that can definitely make me feel happy.
If there was a world with no rules and restrictions for women, what would you do then? I have more time for myself, because இப்போ வந்து ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டிஸ் வந்து women have to do a lot for her family and for her kids, and personal spaceங்கிறது இல்லாத மாதிரி ஆயிடுது. ஸோ if at all someone shares the responsibilities and இந்த மாதிரி restrictions இல்லை அப்படின்னா I'll have more time for myself probably.